The first time I saw the masked man, it was 10:37 at night on a Tuesday. I remember because my parents had let me stay up an extra hour to watch my favorite show, The Hour of the Bear with Mr. Teddy. I fell asleep happy, still hearing the cartoon's theme in my head, but what came next wasn't a dream, at least not the kind I was used to. There were no toys, no friends, no hugs from my mother, just him. He came from the dark like a shadow made of smoke, sliding closer without a sound. The mask was long and smooth, something between a plate doctor and a porcelain doll, but darker, stranger, alive somehow. I could see entire worlds dissolving in the black glow of that mask, and the longer I stared, the deeper I felt myself falling into it. He never spoke. He didn't smile, didn't threaten, didn't even move like a human being, but I knew I should be afraid. My body froze before I understood why. And then, out of nowhere, a dark tentacle slipped from his hand. I didn't see it grow or move. It was just suddenly there. And somehow, I knew what it meant. I tried to scream for my parents, but no sound came out. The air disappeared. The tentacle wrapped around me, and I felt its cold surface against my skin. I was 5 years old, small and helpless, when it touched my mouth and slid inside, down my throat, into my lungs. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't cry. All I could do was stare at that mask as the darkness filled me from the inside out. Then came a sound, sharp, mechanical, like metal scraping against bone. And just like that, everything stopped. The masked man raised a burnt parchment, his hand shaking like something ancient, and a single line appeared across it in glowing letters. Rule number 1, do not watch The Hour of the Bear with Mr. Teddy. I woke up screaming. I woke up covered in sweat, gasping for air, still feeling the tentacle crawling in my throat. My parents ran into the room, their faces pale and worried, and I cried until my chest hurt. They told me dreams couldn't hurt me. They said the masked man wasn't real. I believed them, or at least I wanted to. But even at 5 years old, I knew the difference between a bad dream and pain that lingers after waking. The next night, I didn't want to sleep. I sat in bed with my toys around me like little soldiers protecting me from the dark. Still, my eyes closed on their own, and when I opened them again, he was there, standing in the same endless black void. This time, I tried to fight it. I sang the song my teacher had taught me that morning, "Bad men go away, come back another day." My voice trembled, weak and childish, but it was all I had. He didn't move. He just stood there, the lightless mask tilting slightly, as if listening. Then his arms spread wide, and that familiar cold flooded the air. The tentacles reached again, wrapping around me until I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The pain was worse than before, like drowning in shadows that wanted to crawl inside my lungs. When it was finally over, I was shaking so hard I thought my bones would crack. The masked man held up the same parchment again. The first line was still there, burned into it like a scar. But now, as his claw traced across the surface, new words formed beneath the old ones. Rule number 2, always count your steps and never stop walking on an even number. I woke up screaming again, and this time my parents looked terrified too. They didn't say it, but I could tell. They believed something was wrong. I started counting my steps that morning, whispering the numbers under my breath. 1 was safe. 2 was dangerous. 3 was safe again. That's how it began. For a while, I thought I had won. Weeks passed without seeing the masked man, and every day I counted my steps, whispering under my breath like a prayer. 1 was good, 2 was bad, 3 was good again. People at school stopped playing with me. They called me weird, but I didn't care. They didn't know what it felt like to wake up choking on something that didn't exist. Then one night, he came back. I was standing in that same endless dark, paralyzed when the tentacles rose from the ground like roots searching for my fear. I tried to scream, but only silence came out. The pain returned, cold, thick, inside my lungs. When it ended, the parchment appeared again, unrolling slowly as his claw scratched another line into it. Rule number 3, always wear green on Thursdays. I remember waking up crying, whispering, "I'll follow it, I promise." From that day on, I obeyed every rule. But he never stopped. Each night he came, and each time the list grew. Don't touch red doors. Don't look at your reflection after midnight. Don't write the same word twice in the same sentence. The rules multiplied like infection until they became my life. By the time I was a teenager, I couldn't tell where the dream ended and the waking world began. I kept a folded piece of paper in my pocket with all the rules I'd learned, adding new ones every week. I barely left the house. My parents sent me to doctors, priests, anyone who would listen, but the masked man kept coming. When I turned 30, I moved into a cabin deep in the woods, away from everything that could trigger another visit. No TV, no colors, no people, just silence. But even then, he still found me. Last night I looked in the mirror and barely recognized myself. My skin was pale, my eyes hollow. I raised my shaking hand, staring at the veins beneath it, and whispered, "I've done everything you asked." But as soon as I closed my eyes, he returned, gliding through the black. The parchment unrolled one final time, and his claw revealed the last rule. Rule number 7589. Don't die.
I always knew this would happen. After years of following the rules, memorizing every number, every sound, every step, the list became the only thing left of me. I thought obedience would save me. I thought if I did everything right, the pain would stop. But the truth is, the rules were never meant to protect me. They were meant to keep me alive long enough to suffer. That night, the air in the cabin felt heavier than usual. The silence stretched like something waiting to break. I opened the drawer beside my bed and pulled out the revolver I'd bought months ago. I had polished it so many times that it almost looked like a mirror. For a long moment, I just stared at it, feeling that strange calm that only comes after fear has burned itself out. I told myself this would be my last act of defiance, my final rule, my own rule. I placed the barrel against my temple and smiled, not from joy, but from exhaustion. Finally, I whispered, "No more." But before I could pull the trigger, the air turned black. It wasn't darkness like before. It was alive, pulsing, breathing around me. My body froze as the masked man appeared from the void, rising like a memory that refused to die. The parchment in his hand unfurled one last time, stretching wider and wider until it filled the room. The tentacles came again, wrapping around my arms, my throat, my mind. I tried to scream, but he was already speaking without words, his voice crawling inside my skull. The parchment burned bright, and a new line appeared in fire. Rule number 7589. Don't die. I dropped the gun. My body hit the floor, trembling, and for a second, I saw the mask lean closer. In its surface, I didn't see him. I saw myself. The same hollow eyes, the same exhaustion, the same hunger to escape. Now I understand. The masked man was never trying to kill me. He was teaching me how to become him. Until next time, thanks.